So this has been a tough 3 weeks for the restricted free agents of this class. This is the 2021 draft class that guys that did not get extended before that got to free agency. So some guys got paid from this class last summer. Cade Cunningham got a max. Evan Mobley got a max. Scotty Barnes got a max. Franz Wagner got a max. That's 4 guys in the top 8 got maxes. Alperen Şengün got a lot of money. Trey Murphy got a lot of money. Jalen Johnson got a lot of money. And earlier this year, Santi Aldama, who was really the only guy of the restricted guys who's gotten paid so far, got well paid. So
Jalen Green got a pretty nice chunk of money, but not a long-term deal. Correct.
He got paid. I should clarify that he did get paid over $30 million. So Jalen Suggs also got a very good contract. So this a lot of this class has been taken care of. If you go back and look a year earlier in the 2020 draft, I think there were 4 guys who got maxes. That would be Ann Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Halliburton, and Des Bane, who was the 30th pick. And a bunch of guys from that draft have gotten paid really well. Jaden McDaniels being one, Emmanuel Quickly being one. Oh, Tyrese Maxey, he got a max too. So there's five in that. And then the 2022 class, which is the guys who are getting paid this summer, we've already seen Paolo Banchero get a max, the number 1 pick. Chet Holmgren, the number 2 pick, get a max. And we've seen Jalen Williams 12 got a max. Jabari Smith Jr. got very good money. He was the number 3 pick, and some of the other guys are going to get paid too. But the 2021 draft, these are the guys who got sort of stuck, and primarily Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga, and Quentin Grimes. And I guess you would put Cam Thomas from the Nets in there. So we talked in the pod.
I would not put Cam Thomas.
Cam Thomas is out there. So, of the guys from this summer who have gotten taken care of from that draft, Davion Mitchell did get a contract from the Heat, but he's been traded around a little bit. Quentin Grimes has been traded twice, for that matter. But I do hear
Grimes was traded 3 times.
Three times, right? Yeah.
Knicks,
New York to Detroit to Dallas
Pistons,
to
Mavs.
Philly.
Yeah,
that's right. So, all right. So, what I am suspecting here is, these guys are going to have decisions. They're all going to have decisions coming up about whether or not they want to take the qualifying offer, which is when you sign a qualifying offer, all of them have to have qualifying offers. Otherwise, they're not restricted. If you sign the qualifying offer, you get an automatic no trade clause, because if you get traded, the team loses the bird rights, so they can't pay you no matter what. So that's why you get an implied no trade clause, so you have control over that. Yeah. And so the team, you control whether you get traded, and you also are at odds with the team. There are examples in NBA history where a player has signed a qualifying offer and things have gone okay and he stayed with the team, but most of the time it signals that this is the beginning of the end with the team. So there's also the possibility that there are offers that these guys will be forced to accept. Now, I talked earlier about how this summer was nuclear winter for free agents, especially for restricted guys, because there was only 2 teams with significant space. Next summer, there's theoretically a lot more. There's some reasoning for saying, okay, I choose free agency next year. Let's just roll it over and try again. And the qualifying offers are all pretty good money. You get a pretty good bump on what you were going to make last year. Let me just take a look at what Kuminga's is off the top of my head, because I think it's pretty good money. Not what he's hoping to get paid, obviously, but it's not something that you're really being penalized for.
But I mean, it's a pretty hard sell to take the qualifying offer over the real offer.
So
for any of those guys,
you want to just go kind of case by case here, maybe starting with Kuminga.
All right.
I mean, I think we should do Grimes first, just because it's easy. Like,
okay,
he's restricted with Philly. I have thought the whole summer this is going to end with him signing a probably 2 or 3 year deal for a little bit over the mid-level, and there's not really a reason for it to get done any sooner, because there's not anybody else who can offer him a deal. and that's a fair offer. Philly
His
can
qualifying
do that.
offer is $8.7 million. That's what he would be taking.
Yeah,
Grimes.
Yes.
And he has not made very much money in his career. He's drafted, I think, 25th in the first round. So if he gets something like 345, something in that ballpark, it's a little over the mid-level, and he gets out in free agency again pretty early, like, I think that's a deal that makes sense for everybody. And my guess is he eventually signs that with Philly and he's there.
Yeah, and it was out there that he wanted something like $25 million a year. That's just not realistic. Like, hey, he put up good numbers for Philly, but he put up good numbers when somebody had to score, and he was efficient doing it. But come on, like, you're not getting paid off of putting up some numbers for a team that's losing every night.
Not in a market when nobody has any space.
And his negotiations with the Mavericks last year, he wanted basically, a full mid-level deal. The Mavericks were more in that like 8 to 9 million range. They wanted to give him something like Najee Marshall's contract, which is 3 for 27. That was a big factor in the thinking of the Mavericks trading him for Cody Martin, who's on the deal right in that $9 million per year range. Now, that deal blew up in the Mavericks' face. Cody Martin was hurt at the time. Caleb Martin. I, of all people, should get my twins straight. Although they're identical, so it's more confusing. Anyways, the deal blew up in the Mavericks' face for a variety of reasons. It pushed them right up against the thing where they couldn't even sign a guy to another 10 days, so on and so forth. And it looked really bad because Grimes was putting up a ton of points for Philly. But I'm just telling you, like, there were Mavericks coaches who were not happy with another trade that the team made and weren't shy to let me know about it. None of the Mavericks coaches were upset about the trade for the Grimes for Martin trade. They didn't really value Grimes long term, which is a long-winded way of saying if he's getting something around the mid-level, I think that would be a good deal for him.
Yeah, and if he gets over the mid-level a little bit, as Bontemps said, it incentivizes him to sign it because that's more than anybody's probably going to offer him at this point. Josh Giddey's qualifying offer is $11 million. His situation is, when he got playing time towards the end of the season when they had the injuries, he put up really good numbers, and I'm sure his position is, well, play me starters minutes and I'll continue to put up good numbers.
Yeah, he's never had a problem putting numbers up. That's true. That's not the issue.
Well, and the
issue is defensively.
Well, and also, like, hey, Josh Giddey, to be productive, needs to be the primary ball handler, which for the Bulls right now, he's in a situation where that will be his role. Now, what's the ceiling on a team if Josh Giddey is your primary ball handler? I do think there's a ceiling there. However, all these things, it's not like this is something that's just been discovered over the last year, the last 6 months. Like, you didn't know any of this stuff before you traded Alex Caruso straight up in a deal where the reaction from anybody who knew anything about the NBA said, hold on, they didn't get any picks in that deal? The Bulls got no picks? Seriously? So if you valued him so much that you traded Alex Caruso straight up for him, how are you going to tell him you don't value him that much during contract negotiations?
Well, I mean, there's valuing him and there's giving him exactly what he wants. And I suspect, again, here, I would be surprised if there isn't a deal that's struck at some point between Giddey and the Bulls. I just, the question I think is it going to be something in the $20 to $25 million range per, or is it going to be something, well north of that? I mean,
at 30. And that, from what I hear, that's kind of the difference in the discussions right now.
And look, Josh Giddey is a talented player. I wouldn't want to sign him to either deal because, to your point, you're sort of signing yourself up to be a 35 and 47 team if you have him as your main engine of your offense, which is right about where the Bulls were last year and probably will be going forward if they have him doing that. But he is a talented player. If you do believe in him continuing to grow and improve, like somewhere in the $20 to $25 million range is probably a reasonable deal for everybody. Again, Like, I would assume that gets done at some point and that he doesn't sign the qualifying offer. But to Brian's initial point, Josh Giddey has put up a lot of numbers, and I think there's a belief that he's got a chance to be a high-level player. And so I could see him saying, well, I was the sixth pick in the draft. I've made a decent amount of money. I get another $11 million. There's a lot of cap space next summer. I'll take my chances. Like that one, I think there's at least more plausibility to that than the Grimes one. But I would still be pretty surprised if he didn't eventually.
Yeah, because he's even if it's the numbers the Bulls are putting out there, it's nearing $100 million total value. It's at least in the upper.
Yeah. Well, and he's he's sort of the same thing as Grimes. Like, if you're a young guy like that, get 80, 90, $100 million guaranteed in your pocket, and then be a free agent again at 26 or 27, and then go try to get another one. Like,
I wish I could tell you I knew what the Bulls' plan was. I do not.
That's been
they
the
have
the plan has been to be the 10 seed for years.
And third place in 3-team trades.
They are in position to have a lot of cap space in 26 because Nikola Vucevic, Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter are all in the last year of their contracts. I assume they want to keep Kobe White. It's not likely he gets extended because his number is so low, but he's on the last year of his contract if they wanted
to.
Just
so fans know what you're saying, he's currently making $12.8 million this year.
Right.
He's had a really good couple of years. He's outplayed his deal, and under the rules of the current CBA, you can only bump a guy up a certain amount of money. So it's unlikely the Bulls, they could probably offer him somewhere around like 3 for $60, maybe a little bit higher than that. And I don't think that would be enough to get Kobe extended.
Yeah, the Bulls would right now. I mean, they did sign Trey Jones to be a backup point guard for them. They gave him 2 years guaranteed. They're in position to have $60+ million in cap space next year, if that's what they want to do. And if they want to keep that flexibility, because they know they're not going to be able to extend Kobe White anyway, they could just squeeze Giddey into the qualifying offer, and then they could just really have a bunch of space. Because if they sign Giddey, it limits their. Now, what